Hey everybody, it's Mike here, and today we are going to be installing the Closetmaid Shelftrack system. That's what I have here in my hand. If you're interested in getting rid of a shelf that looks like this and making it more modular, stay tuned to this video and check it out. Alright, so now that we got the old shelf out of the closet, we got the holes patched, let that dry for a little bit, we're going to go ahead and install the hanger track. The hanger track is the first piece that goes in when you are installing the Shelftrack system. So you want to make sure that this little rounded edge is on the bottom of it when you install it. So we're going to go ahead and flip this up here, get this up in the air, put it up here in the closet, and you want to take a level and make sure that you're level. So the first thing you do, make sure you have a good level when installing this and that you're centered. I like to install it in the top of the closet. I think that, because I like to put the longer brackets there. So looking at it and making sure it's level. Yep, we're level here. So once you have it up here and you have it level, you can take a pencil. I'm using a punch, and we want to make holes. This is where we are going to drill into the wall and put our support system to hang this to. Once you have all of your markings here, you want to go ahead and drill tiny little holes in the wall first. The reason I like to drill tiny little holes in the wall first is to make sure that there's not a stud behind there. If there's a stud, then you don't need to put the toggle bolt in. You can actually go ahead and just use a regular screw to the stud. So let's go ahead and drill a couple of tiny holes and see what we have behind the drywall. Alright, so I drilled some pilot holes in the wall, and the next thing we're going to want to go ahead and do is drill the actual hole size. So this size of hole is going to depend on what type of mount you are going to use to mount this up there. I like toggle bolts. Toggle bolts are great on drywall. There's this brand, there's a couple different brands. This is the brand from Home Depot. Lowe's has a different brand. Same thing as they're called snap toggles, or these are flip toggles. I'll show you how these work here in a minute. But basically they require a 1/2 inch hole. So let's go ahead and drill a 1/2 inch hole. They'll be able to slide these toggles into that hole. Alright, so we have all the holes drilled now. Let's go ahead and slide in our toggle bolts. So these toggle bolts here, you kind of push them back like this. And you're going to slide them into the wall, they'll slide through the hole, and they'll spring back out. Well, there it goes, springs back out. And this piece here, you slide it forward, and it locks into the wall. What's nice about this is, compared to like your regular old-fashioned toggle bolts, when you take the bolt out of it, usually this part would fall into the wall. Because of this support system, it doesn't fall into the wall and allows you to take it out and put it back in. So let's go ahead and put this into the wall. I'll show you how it goes. So you just kind of slide it in, push it, make sure it's locked in real well, and snap this all the way back. There you go. And then once it's in the wall real good, you can feel it's not going to go anywhere. This is the cool part. It snaps right off. Don't need it anymore. So we'll just do that for all of these holes. Alright, so now that we have all our toggles in place, we can go ahead and mount this to the wall. I know what you're thinking. There's a lot of these up there. And maybe I go a little bit overboard when I'm installing stuff, but I promise you, nothing's ever going to fall off of your wall because you put in a couple extra screws. So just remember that. So anyway, here is what we're going to do. We're going to put this up there. Just remember from before, this curved piece needs to go onto the bottom. So the curved piece onto the bottom. Let's go ahead and flip this up over my head. And probably don't need this drill quite yet. Banging around the closet. Yeah, it's a little tight in here. It's a little weird shot too, so sorry. Hopefully this video will turn out okay. But once that's in there, I like to go ahead and start hand threading these in. You can kind of put them through the hole first. You can do a little hand tightening. Hand tightening, getting them just aligned just enough. You know, you don't want to make sure you don't want to cross thread these when they go in. So just one here, a couple more over here. Alright, so now that we have the hang track up, we can go ahead and install what Closetmaid calls the standards, which is basically just a what the bracket is going to attach to attach the shelf to. This is what makes the whole system modular. The Closetmaid recommends that you put one screw in the middle of each of these brackets. Once again, like I said earlier, nothing's ever going to fall off your wall because you put in a couple extra screws. So I go a little bit extra and go ahead and throw in screws in pretty much every single hole. That's going to kind of guarantee me that this thing isn't going to fall off the wall. Okay, so now that you have your standards hung on the hang track, you can go ahead and check for level. And then go ahead and use a punch or a pen or something to go ahead and mark where these holes are. Alright, so once you have all your holes marked, you can go ahead and slide the bracket out of the way. Once again, I like to use a small bit first just to make sure there's no stud behind here. Then I can just put a regular screw in before I put in a toggle bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and check. Guess what? I hit a stud, and that's exactly why I do it. So now that I know there's a stud here, I can use regular screws. Since I found a stud where I wanted to put this standard, I'm just going to go ahead and use regular screws to screw right into the stud. I pre-drilled holes, just pilot holes, so they'll slide in a little bit easier. And you just go ahead and screw them in. So to finish off the rest of the standards, I like to use these plastic toggles. They're a little bit cheaper than the other ones, but since you already have that support on the top, and these still hold 143 pounds. So, I mean, you're going to be doing pretty good with them. So with these ones, they require a 5/16 hole. Once again, depending on what you use, that's the size hole you got to drill. So please look at the packaging on what you buy, because if you buy something different and drill too big of a hole, well, they're just going to rip out of the wall. So really pay attention to what the packaging tells you the pre-drill hole size is for the toggle bolt that you have. So let's go ahead and drill these into the wall. So now that we have all of our standards in place, we can go ahead and put up our shelving brackets. This is what the shelves will sit on top of. So let's get all these organized the way that we want them, then we'll put the shelves on. All right, as you can see, it's starting to come together. I already put some shelves in. I wanted to take a break here and kind of show you how to put one of these brackets in and then how to hang the shelf onto the bracket. So the bracket, you just want to go ahead and kind of slide. You got to lift it up a little bit like so and slide and drop it down in. And I think I'm a little off. So, yeah, I'm a little off. So let's go ahead and raise that back up to here, slide that in. And it kind of sits like this. Now these shelves can be a little bit tricky because when you put these shelves in, you want to make sure that you see how it's slid up like this? Tilt it up and you want to slide it in through there. So it's kind of slid in over the holes because there's little clips in the back. And once you drop this down, you pull it forward and it locks in place, and that's so your shelf doesn't flip in. And something else I wanted to show you looking at these shelves, as you can see, these shelves are a little bit bigger and these are a little bit smaller. The idea with these is you can hang clothes off of this. So I went with this type so you can hang clothes off of here, and this is just going to be a shelf. Alright, so here it is, the finished closet. As you can see, the shelves are in, everything's in, it is ready to go. You can set this up however you want. This is how I chose to set it up. I left some extra long pieces here to hang clothes. Here and here, and then stuff to stack stuff or fold clothes, depending on what you're using the closet for. Is this an extra bedroom? Is this a whatever it is? I mean, you get to decide how you want to do this, and if you don't like it, the best part is you just take it out, rearrange these brackets. All the hard work's already done, and you can rearrange these shelves however you want. So it's a really nice system, and it's not too expensive. I've done this in a couple other bedrooms in my house, and I find it really helps with organization around the house. So if you liked this video and would like to see more of them, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks.